I'm Marilee Caruso. It's Wednesday, April 15th. Today, a home for the homeless.
I'll be supporting the idea of not moving ahead with a managed encampment.
Why the city of Winnipeg is being advised to drop the idea of setting up a managed encampment site. Also today, a fiery debate.
Remaining status quo is not working for 3 or 4 of the wards in Winnipeg.
We'll tell you some of the possible ways fireworks may or may not be able to be used in the city. Plus, beautification blitz.
It would get us accomplishing our goal of a cleaned up city faster.
What you can do to get downtown looking fresh for spring. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. The city of Winnipeg is being advised to drop the idea of setting up a managed outdoor homeless encampment site, according to a report which will be presented to council next week. There was no time or money to make it happen. Standing by live with the details is CTV's Daniel Helmerson. So, Danny, what would this have cost?
Well, according to the report, Marilee, between $707,000 and $1.39 million. And that's just based on the size of the site, which was suggested to be big enough to host between 24 and 60 people, and the cost of the staff needed to run it from April to August. The costs for things like 24/7 security and wraparound supports on site weren't even factored into that cost. The idea, which was brought forward in December, was to run a temporary city-managed encampment during the spring and summer, which would have included amenities such as washrooms, garbage bins, and on-site service providers offering resources to those staying there. Given the significant cost and the fact that it's already the middle of April and a site hasn't yet been selected, which would require some community engagement first, the council is now being advised to abandon the idea, and the mayor agrees.
We'll continue to work with the province of Manitoba and our other partner agencies to address encampments. We also brought in our encampment protocol, where we have removed 17 encampments over the last several months and got those encampments cleaned up to get people into housing. So I'll be supporting the idea of not moving ahead with a managed encampment, but instead continue to work with the province of Manitoba and other agencies.
This idea was brought forward by council after a number of other Canadian cities set up versions of managed encampment sites themselves.
Could the city not get some funding from the province to make this happen, Daniel?
Council actually asked city staff to consult with the province on possible funding options to do this, but in the report it says the province wasn't able to commit to any new funding or divert any existing services this summer. Now, coming up at 6, we'll hear why some say the city is missing out on a major opportunity to get ahead of the encampment issue by abandoning the managed site idea. That's because the weather is warming up and more unhoused people will likely migrate from shelters to outdoor areas. CTV's John Hendricks spoke to people on the front lines of the homeless crisis and those living in neighborhoods where encampments are chronic. Hear what they have to say about this next hour.
All right, looking forward to it. Thanks, Danny. The floodway could go into operation over the weekend ahead of the Red River's peak in Winnipeg. The floodway gates would be raised to help control water levels in the city. The Red River is expected to crest at James Avenue in Winnipeg between April 21st and the 25th at 17.7 feet. Now, that's just below what the province considers a moderate flood. Meantime, runoff is partially ongoing along the Assiniboine River. It is expected to peak in Winnipeg on April 25th. The province warns there could be minor flooding in low-lying areas along that river. Manitoba's only black bear rescue is putting forward a cash reward after a mother black bear was illegally killed last month. Manitoba Conservation says it happened on Road 6 East, just north of Balmoral, between roads 86 and 87 North, sometime between March 30th and 31st. The killing left behind 3 orphaned cubs, which had been taken in by Manitoba Black Bear Rescue. And now that rescue is offering up a $10,000 reward for information that leads to a conviction. Manitoba Conservation says the maximum penalty is a $10,000 fine and/or 6 months imprisonment. If you have any information that can help, you're asked to contact conservation officers, or you can call the Turn-In Poachers tip line. Both of those numbers are up on your screen, and you do not need to give your name. City councilors remain stumped on how to approach regulations around fireworks, and they're asking for some more time to study the issue.
We are trying to be more proactive, but we don't have. So remaining status quo, I'm going to challenge you, remaining status quo is not working for 3 or 4 of the wards.
Yesterday, the Community Services Committee approved a motion to revisit the issue in March, and in the meantime, gather more data and set up a working group. Councilors discussed a number of options they hope will satisfy both those who want to set off fireworks safely and those opposed to fireworks. Now, this includes a ban on certain types of fireworks, only allowing fireworks on certain days, or increased fines for illegally setting off fireworks. In most cases, enforcement remains an issue, as the city only has a limited number of people who can respond to such calls, and they only work daytime hours. Now that the snow is melted, the grime and litter that lies beneath has been revealed. To freshen things up, the city is launching a beautification blitz in Winnipeg's downtown. 4 dedicated crews will clean and polish the area over the next 4 weeks, sweeping sidewalks and streets, replacing damaged signage, and pressure washing park equipment. The annual citywide spring cleanup starts Sunday. While the cleanup will involve more than 300 pieces of equipment and 500 workers, the mayor hopes you will also lend a hand.
If you could take the time as a property owner, please, to sweep up and clean up your property, that would make a huge difference. It would get us accomplishing our goal of a cleaned up city faster.
For those that do, the annual yard waste program is set to begin the week of May 4th. Winnipeggers should also watch for no parking signs and may be inquired to move their vehicles during the blitz. You can stay up to date on all of the operations through the city's website and the Know Your Zone app. All right, let's bring in Colleen Brady now and take a look at your very spring Skywatch forecast today. That is an important caveat, because what is to come is very unspring-like, Colleen.
And it really depends on where you are. It very much feels like winter if you are in central Manitoba, as you well know. Then tomorrow it's southern Manitoba's turn, and even into Friday, northwestern Ontario. Brace yourself as well. All this is headed your way. What's this? Well, let me just try to kick things off by showing you this. Yeah, these are all the different weather alerts that are in effect on either side of the provincial border. We have that snowfall warning that continues for that snow hitting central Manitoba hard right now. But as that system moves out overnight, another one is going to come in. That is going to bring likely a wintry mix. What does that mean? Well, potentially snow and freezing rain, which is the bigger concern. And yes, that does include Winnipeg. Then it picks up on the other side of the provincial border, that special weather statement. This is more so for what's to come later on Thursday into Friday. And then further north around Red Lake, you see there's a winter storm watch in effect. Yes, it is the middle of April. I will have all those details coming up and what you can expect in the next couple of days. But to be sure, we are riding a weather roller coaster. The CTV Live Eye is brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. In Winnipeg right now, it's cloudy, but hey, look, it's 16 degrees. But all those strong winds today, that's what they delivered. Those temperatures that are warmer than they've been in about 6 months. Winds out of the southwest at 15 kilometers an hour. The pressure's dropping and the humidity is 68%. Out in traffic on this Wednesday afternoon, a live look at the Provencher Bridge. Traffic quite light there right now.
Leaving a not-so-sweet taste, why some 7-Eleven locations are expected to close. All the details after the break. Taking a look at the markets today, crude oil closed flat. The loonie rose to 72.75 cents U.S. Gold futures lost $26. The TSX added 53 points. The Dow Jones slipped 72 points, while the Nasdaq jumped 376 points. Blue Bomber fans will notice a few improvements when the season starts later this spring. Profits from last year allowed the football club to make some new investments in the stadium. Well, operating expenses rose by $23 million last year due to hosting the Grey Cup. The club's 2025 annual report shows an operating profit of $12.1 million. That's thanks in part to a sold-out CFL season. $8.4 million was used for improvements, including a new players' lounge, additional contactless security screening devices, and concession equipment. The club also installed 2 new high-resolution video boards. It's replacing lodge seats and is also redesigning the rum hut. An earthquake rattled parts of eastern Ontario and western Quebec at lunchtime yesterday.
Was a lot of shaking, like a lot of the ground, the building. As I said, it was like a big wave that came over us, just came and went.
Earthquakes Canada has confirmed a magnitude 3.9 earthquake at approximately 12:36 p.m. Eastern yesterday. The epicenter was located 20 kilometers northeast of Shawville, Quebec, but some people reported feeling it as far away as Toronto and Montreal. Experts say the area where it struck is part of the Western Quebec seismic zone, an area where it's common to have about a dozen felt earthquakes every year. New research suggests Canada's aging population is starting to downsize, which could mean more opportunities for younger buyers. RE/MAX Canada says data suggests a long-term downsizing wave is coming to the country's housing market. However, survey findings suggest that shift is going to happen gradually due to limited availability of suitable homes for people looking to move into. RE/MAX says 65% of people aged 65 or older are reporting low to no availability of smaller homes in their communities. Convenience store chain 7-Eleven expects to close hundreds of locations this year. The company's North American operator plans to shut down 645 stores this fiscal year. 7-Eleven didn't specify which locations are on the chopping block or explain the reasons for the closures, but the convenience store giant has closed hundreds of underperforming locations over the years, with the latest cuts arriving as higher prices strain consumers worldwide. Just last month, Mayor Scott Gillingham drank a Slurpee at his State of the City address, saying 7-Eleven officials told him at the time they plan to open new stores in the city. The American punk rock band headed north to Winnipeg. We've got all the details coming up after the break.
Spotlight, sponsored by the Casinos of Winnipeg, presenting the Fab Four, the ultimate tribute.
Colleen Brady is back now for Spotlight, and get ready to rock out this summer.
That's right. An American punk band is coming to Winnipeg. The Bouncing Souls will be hitting the stage at the Park Theatre. Known for songs like Lean on Sheena, True Believers, and Hopeless Romantic, the band will bring their high-energy performance. The show takes place July 12th. Tickets are on sale now online at livenation.com.
We now know who is going to be headlining this year's edition of Just for Laughs Montreal. Some big names,
That's
too.
right. Comedic icon Weird Al Yankovic, best known for parody hits like White Nerdy and Another One Rides the Bus, will bring his Bigger and Weirder tour to the festival July 25th.
See me roll on my Segway. I know in my heart they think I'm white and nerdy. I'm just too white and nerdy.
Jerry Seinfeld is also set to perform July 23rd. Other acts include Zoltan Kazis. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce his last name, but I think he's pretty big. I should know that. Jacqueline Novak and Smoosh reads Reddit Stories Live. Tickets for the Just for Laughs Festival go on sale Friday. And also, merrily, Weird Al will perform here in Winnipeg at Canada Life Centre on August 30th.
Oh, he's busy.
Yeah.
Booked everywhere.
That's right.
Today is National Canadian Film Day.
It is the annual showcase of our country's cinema. Now, the day includes 2,000 free screenings right across the country. Every province and territory is participating in the event, with schools, libraries, seniors' homes, and theaters across Canada showcasing movies. Cannes Film Day was first launched in 2014, celebrating Canadian stories and the achievements of Canadian filmmakers.
Take advantage of it.
That's right.
Tennis fans, guess what? You are in for a bit of a treat.
Absolutely. A new documentary on Rafael Nadal is being served up for you.
Everybody who followed tennis was watching Rafa. It was all eyes on him.
Netflix says Rafa is the definitive documentary on an all-time great. It will showcase his legacy, grit, and determination. Rafa starts streaming on May 29th.
I bet it's pretty good. The Queen of Pop has been busy.
She has. Madonna has a new album on the way. That is a sneak peek at one of the tracks on the album, which is titled Confessions on a Dance Floor Part 2. It's a follow-up to the original 2005 album, Confessions on a Dance Floor, which featured hits like Hung Up. Madonna confirmed that the new album will be released July 3rd. Now, it will be her first full-length album release in 7 years.
Wow. Still going.
About time.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Thanks, Golly.
You bet. Coming up tonight on your primetime lineup, MasterChef is back at 7 with an international twist. Then Catch the Floor at 8, followed by Shark Tank at 9. Scrubs is on at 10. It's all right here tonight on CTV.
CTV Primetime Lineup, brought to you by the Parkway Retirement Community. Welcome home.
It's 16 degrees outside. I hope you're enjoying it, because 24 hours from now, I will not be telling you it is 16 degrees. I will show you why coming up.
Women's clothing provided by RW & Company. Salon services provided by S&T Spa Salon.
Rolls-Royce has unveiled what's being called an ultra-luxury EV.
See behind me, this car is of vast proportions, and that is purposeful. It harks back to those 1920s where we had significant motor cars with presence on the road.
This car is being called Project Nightingale. Only 100 of them are being made, making it not only ultra-luxurious, but also ultra-exclusive. At this point, they're not sharing how much this two-seater convertible will cost, but you can probably guess it's going to be a lot.
CTV Skywatch weather brought to you by South Beach Casino and Resort. Visit southbeachcasino.ca.
Speaking of a lot, Colleen, we've gotten a lot of unspring weather this spring.
You read my mind. Taking a deep breath and a heavy sigh at the same time, because 16 degrees outside, that's great. And as we mentioned earlier, maybe to peel back the curtain a little bit, we might have had a little pre-show venting session about the weather and how it's about to change. I'm not naming names, but anyway, we finally made it to double digits, well into the double digits. Tomorrow will not be a repeat of today, unfortunately, but in the days ahead, we will get back up to the mid-teens with some sunshine. But until then, we have the night ahead, which will be pretty quiet for southern Manitoba. It's a bit of a different scenario further north, but let's look east quickly. Actually quite clear through that corridor there from Fort Francis up to Dryden. That is going to change in the next 24 to 48 hours. So again, we have all these weather alerts that are in effect in Manitoba and northwestern Ontario, all issued, of course, by Environment and Climate Change Canada. We still have a snowfall warning that continues for central regions, for Flin Flon in the Paw, through Norway House, right to the Ontario border, and in fact, even beyond. Now, this should all come to an end later on tonight, and all told, Environment Canada is still forecasting in a very generalized way 15 to 20 centimeters of snow through this warned area. But as this system exits out to the east or northeast, there's going to be a new system entering from the west. Now, Environment Canada is mostly concerned about the risk of freezing rain beginning overnight in the southwest. Now, again, to zone in or to zero in a little bit more, that's the better way of putting it, it is the area along the Trans-Canada corridor and south that Environment Canada is most concerned about with respect to freezing rain, both in southwestern Manitoba and then throughout the day tomorrow, not just there, but also east into the Red River Valley. There could also be some snow mixing in along the way too, hence that term I used earlier, a wintry mix. And that wintry mix will be moving into northwestern Ontario more so later in the day on Thursday and into Friday. Environment Canada saying there 1 to 4 millimeters of freezing rain could build up. Further north, we have places like Red Lake there. Sioux Lookout under this winter storm watch in the middle of April. 15 to 20 centimeters of not just snow, but ice pellets mixing in as possible in those regions starting Thursday night and into Friday. But even by Friday, we won't be out of the woods just yet here on our side of the provincial border. There is snow headed for southern Manitoba again as part of this system. But speaking of snow, it will continue tonight for north central and northeastern parts of the province. But again, on the southern flank, you see there's that freezing rain, and where it's even warmer, we've got some showers there. That will continue to move on out of the province overnight. As I mentioned, as that leaves that way, we've got this next disturbance that will be coming into southwestern Manitoba. You see that pink, that's freezing rain. So right into tomorrow morning, watch out. That of course could mean slippery roads, highways and sidewalks. There's that snow mixing in as well, giving us that wintry mix. We could see this all make its way into the Red River Valley, and then that will continue overnight. More so here into Friday morning, we'll see more of that snow and maybe even some freezing rain continuing. For tonight, we drop all the way down to -6 degrees with that chance of a wintry mix, including the potential for freezing rain late tonight and through the day tomorrow. High of just 0, and the winds too will be shifting overnight from the south. We've had those strong gusty south winds all day. Well, they're going to flip around, come from the north tonight, and that's going to help to usher in all of this. Snow is likely on Friday with a high of just -3 degrees, but then look at Monday and Tuesday, 15 degrees and 18 in the sunshine. Brighter days are ahead, warmer ones too. This first photo it is out in Otterburn, Manitoba. It was sent to us by Maxine, a lovely shot there of the sky. And this lovely lady is Georgia, drooling, Shannon said yesterday, for some warmer weather. Well, she got it today. Send us your photos to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Thanks, Colleen. Well, here's something you do not see every day. Some police officers in Florida caught a surprising sight on camera. You may be asking, what is this? Well, as the officers were docking and cleaning up one of their boats, a manatee pulled up to steal some fresh water to take a drink. The surprised men waited until the manatee had his fill before they moved along. Now, as cute as the sight may have been, they are also warning others not to intentionally give him more water or encourage other manatees to come up close to their boats because it can put them in danger. This guy, though, seems to have enjoyed his hydrating pit stop.
Has he ever?
Pretty cool that they were able to catch it on camera, too, to share with all of us.
That's great.
Well, hopefully he behaves now and keeps his distance. All right, that does it for us this hour, but don't go far. We're back at 6 with much more local news. Hope to see you then.